This is episode 1 of The Art of Agency, a launch pad for realtors. I'm Jonathan Greene.
And I'm Mallory Pazder.
This is our backstory. How the hell did we even make up this podcast?
Oh, I don't even know. I'm thinking about the names we were coming up with, but
we're going to give the listeners a treat by going through the names that we heartily discarded in a little bit. But I think, these first couple episodes are for listeners to know a little bit more about what got us here and then, what to expect later. But I guess, we talked about a little bit on the trailer, we both have a coaching background. And I think when we think of this, in terms of what it's called, agency, and then a launch pad for other realtors, it goes back to our coaching. So why don't you just go into a little bit about your coaching background, a little bit more in depth than we did on the trailer, and then I'll do the same. And then we'll fillet ourselves with these horrible names that we almost named.
I love that.
Everybody who goes as a solo agent to a brokerage now, is in trouble because there's only so much training that you can do. Some brokerages do in-person training better than others, but the second that stops, it's kind of like real estate school. You finish and then you're like, well, now what the hell do? I still don't know how to do a transaction. And I feel like the only way to actually learn is through networking, knowing other agents, and then also having people telling you the real stuff. This is really what you need to do. And it's not state specific, even though we're, New Jersey, PA based. I think you can take the skills that we're going to put out there and apply it to business. And we want to help agents do more business, but also do business the right way.
Yeah, better. That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Do you remember before you were licensed, what it was like just even talking about real estate? I've been investing my whole life, so I've dealt with a lot of real estate agents before I was licensed, and I was just always thought that they sucked. And even when I became an agent and I was a newbie, I was still why is everybody so unprofessional for the most part?
Oh, yeah.
There's lots of good agents, not lots, but a very small percentage, but it's just pretty bad. And I think, is that something that you notice? Because you come from a business background and then you get into real estate and you're kind of you have confidence like I do, and you're going into it and you're like, what the hell are these people doing?
Oh, it's crazy. It's mind blowing every day. I think in my head, I'm hopeful this podcast can help people, because it really is. There's something different every day, whether it's someone who has a listing not responding to a showing request, whether it's the way someone responds in an email that's rude, just everything, it's really interesting to see. So again, I'm super hopeful this can help people.
Yeah. And I think one thing that we haven't really talked about much is, even though we're focused on real estate agents, if we can make real estate better, that means we're making it better for buyers, sellers, and investors, who can then work with agents who are better prepared, more confident, and feel like more experts in their field. And I feel there's a million realtors, so there's no wonder why people think that we're rotating bobbleheads who all look the same and just open doors. I understand that, and I actually don't fault the general public for thinking that. But, on our team and the way that you and I personally do our business, we just want to know, actually, we're not that. We want to be better. We're running a business, not a job. And that's something I know we're going to talk about a lot.
Yeah, I think even before I was in the corporate world, I always kind of had a knack for training and development and things like that. It's something that always interested me in teaching and helping others. And then in my positions in finance, I developed a lot of learning programs for other people. And so early last year, I just thought, why not get actually certified to be a coach? So primarily, I focus in sales and business. I do some things related to confidence, but primarily it's systems and processes related to sales and business is kind of my background in the coaching world.
Yeah, and I think for me, my official coaching started earlier. For anyone who doesn't know, I have a background in the law. I was a prosecutor for 8 years and a criminal defense attorney for 2 years. And I think I learned a lot over there. As you scale up in government jobs, you move up to areas where you're always coaching new prosecutors to be better, leading divisions. And that's where I think I really started to, kind of take into account what you said, as I really wanted to help make people better. And I think over the course of all my jobs, that's really just what I want to do. And like we said in the trailer, like we think we can make real estate better, but we can help real estate agents do better. So when I got into real estate, there was a point in time where I took a year off, and during that year off, I got my life coaching certification, which was not one of those like, I didn't pull it out of like the hamper of a Prius and say like, oh, I just got this. It was 36 weeks, and very intensive. And I took that and used it to help myself. And then I applied it to real estate. And I did coach for a time for a real estate coaching company called Club Wealth. And I learned a lot about client care and what realtors were looking for. And then I got into building teams. And this is my second team, the one that you're on, Streamline Properties on Market, brokered by eXp Realty. But just give me a little info on that, because we've talked about that before, and I think that's really where you see the difference in real estate agents.
Oh, you're totally right. I mean, I remember, one of the clients I'm working with now, they had worked with a couple different agents prior, and they verbatim said, we've never worked with anybody as communicative and professional as you. And they've worked with over their court, they've purchased a few different houses, and they've worked with all different agents. And I don't think they'll ever not work with me, but it's sad when you see someone who's been through the process multiple times and that's their response, and all I'm really doing is answering their questions and making sure the process goes smoothly. So yeah, I find that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the longer you're in real estate, the more you get a new listing, and then you go back and realize, well, they just bought the house 2 years ago. Why aren't they using the agent that they bought the house with? Because the agent never followed up, or didn't do a good job, or missed stuff along the way, or just didn't do anything. And I think that's one thing that I know we're going to do. It's not just how you do the business. It's how you treat the clients. It's how you treat yourself. It's how you feel. If you're, this is what we always say on the team, but I think this is important before we get into our names is, if you wouldn't hire yourself as a real estate agent, why is anyone else going to hire you?
Yep.
So you have to have that level of confidence that like real estate is cool. Like, why does everyone think this job sucks? It's great. It's great. I love it. I love houses. Yeah. I like helping people buy houses. I like helping people sell houses. I love working with investors. It's really not that hard, but you do need guidance, right? That's what we talked about in the beginning.